Hi, this is Redwan. Welcome to another tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll be talking about UI UX. So we'll be going into the theoretical part and explaining about what UI UX is all about, and as well as guiding us through what design phase we need to follow through to be able to get our design correct. So this tutorial might be long, and the other thing is it might be a bit boring, but however we'll try to make sure that this is kind of lively a bit because this will be a lot of explanation about design, and after this tutorial we'll be going through with the UI because the first one I have to start with UX. We would need to understand what UX is all about, and then we go in what UI, what are the concepts we're supposed to use in designing a better interface. And if after that is done, we can go ahead to start the other part where we use the design tools, the different design tools we have, like Figma, Adobe XD, Sketch for those who are using Mac. So, before any further ado, let's get right to it. First, these are the topics I'm going to be talking about. The UX processes and research, and also the UX laws. So that will keep us on that track. So the UX processes, we'll look at this, and I have a couple of topics I will be talking on this. The design thinking, double diamond, experiment and optimize, design sprint, jobs to be done. So these are the concepts I will be looking at basically. So let me get my pen. So all of this we're going to be talking. So now let's start with the design thinking. So design thinking basically is a process of thinking like a design uh, and also giving your consideration for what your users actually want to see, what is much easier for them to understand um, based on the technical feasibility and more of it, which is commercial viability, which as a business who is trying to create a product from your own part being a commercial responsibility for you to create a product where users will be beneficial for the users basically. So now this product needs to have what's it called? Needs to be unique. It needs to be friendly. Especially when you're developing maybe a website or a mobile app, all of this needs to be considered while doing it. And most of the things under this design thinking, which we need to follow because this is all the design process which follows the similar formula with the design thinking. So we look at how to empathize with your users, and as well as you define your user needs and problems, and yet solution design, prototype your ideas and test your prototypes as well. Build that ideas that work. So, explaining all of this, let's use the concept of you creating a mobile app. So, you creating a mobile app, let's say first thing your user is supposed to see maybe a login screen and all of that. So, you need to know how you're going to sell this because the first what was it called again? The first thing they see define um what next the user is going to do. If it's going to keep them that, oh, you need to stay and see there's more to this, basically. So, and to get all of this design process, you need to follow all of this like empathizing with the user. What would user would like to see in the product? Okay, okay, I want them to see much easier email and password, and maybe a button here, so I can have like an image, stuff like that. Then we have like sign in somewhere here. S- Sorry about that. I'm not sketching this correctly. So basically, I understand. You should get what I'm trying to explain. So now this, you need to make this interface a lot easier for your users to be able to like a stepping stone for understanding what you're trying to sell to them basically, and you want them to use and enjoy. So you need to follow all these design processes of empathizing, def define the what your user needs and the problems of what the users are facing. Basically, if there's an existing product before, you need to understand if what are the bottlenecks in those products, and you want to create something much better, much user friendly. So you need to understand that you ideate those solutions, create them, and prototype those ideas into your design concept from after you click from the sign in page. When you sign in, what page next, how easy it's going to go through with that, and you test this prototype, and before you begin to design or build these ideas for your users. So the next part is the to continue with the design thinking. I've explained this in the previous slide. So based on all of this, I'll explain this now. So when you look at user disability, um, it basically, does it meet user needs? Does this solve a problem before you go into you creating your design process? So these are the questions you ask when it comes to user disability. If it's going to meet the user need, if it's something they're already used to, and if it's going to solve an existing problem which users have been facing. So this part should be the most obvious part for us designer, and it will be our job to heavily champion this in our careers basically. I believe this is the best place to start as a designer, as it will teach you how to gain empathy for your users. We love our users, and we want to create incredible usable experience for them. So we need to take consider of all of this. And the other part, which is the commercial um, viability. This you need to look at, does this align with the goals of the business? How can this help us make money? Basically, as maybe a business owner, you're trying to create a product for users, if you understand this. So will this help you, as based on your goals and mission for your business? Will this help your business? Will this make money for your business, which is also the main part why you need to still create more better product for your users to enjoy. So basically, I'm going to address something earlier on which may feel controversial. The needs of the user are not more important than the commercial needs of the business, basically. If you believe they are, then you should be willing to sacrifice your paycheck. So if you're working with a company, so are you willing to sacrifice a paycheck every month if it's not all about money or stuff like that while you're creating um, this, or if your users are not important for why you're creating this design? So you need to put that into yourself. So company needs to make money basically, and this isn't a dirty practice. You own a business, you have your employees and all of that, so you need to take care of all of that as well. So this has to go hand in hand with what you are achieving, um, based on products you're creating out there, and what you're also gaining at your own end. So this has to be balanced. So the other part is the technical feasibility. Basically, look at, is this technically possible? Is this a good use of engineering time? So let's look at the part of you creating maybe a mobile app or all of that. Okay, I would like to create a to-do app on making it easy for people to create a list of items they want to achieve in a day, and from there, I want them to be able to easily check those that has been completed and give them a nice interface where it's much easier for them to feel and easy to navigate through. So if all of these are covered, that this product you're trying to achieve it's needed, so and it's going to be a solution for users to actually use, enjoy, and gain from, and make life easier, basically. So this, and also this makes money for the company as well, which the more you create and design and when you design the first part, people users are using this, and you what you call redesign and all of that to keep them using that product. So all of this needs to be uh, looked into. So the next one, which is on the topic, is the double diamond. So the double diamond basically it's an iterative design process made up of four stages, and the stages are the discover, define, develop, and deliver. So you need to look at the problem, from the problem to the solution. So we need to discover what the problem is, define the problem, develop what a solution for it, then deliver it to the users. So basically, FSM is about understanding the problems as well as possible. The first stage of this diamond is discover, which helps you understand what to focus on. This is made up of research, data gathering in the form of users interviews, usability testing, and reviewing analytics. This is very, very important because you need to know what the problem is deep down. If it's affecting users, then you can carry out interviews like survey, creating survey using Google Forms or Microsoft Forms, send that out, understand, let user fill in the problems they're facing in a particular product, which they are already quite aware of, or if you're creating a different new solution, what do user think? Will this address this? What is going to address? So this tells you a lot. You need to check analytics, review things in the internet. Who are those using this product? Who are the target audience or users to this? So this learnings from the research during this discovery stage will help you in the next stage in defining what the issue is. Use your understanding of the problem space to focus in on the most important part of your design process. This could be the biggest pain point for your users or an area of best opportunity for improvement. The second diamond is about designing and creating solutions. You will start in the develop stage, collaborating, creating solutions that you think will solve your defined problem. So you need to look at it. Then designing and creating prototypes which will be used for testing in the next stage, basically. So the final stage, which is to deliver, this involves testing out your different solutions to learn which ideas to scrap and which ideas to improve. So this is where you, if you're working with a team, you gather and you look at, you create this concept, your design, what you want to deliver, and when you say, oh, we don't need the way the signing page is, or we don't need the signing page for this product, so it's much easier. Users just load, open the product and gets to the home page. Then we give maybe some sort of pop-up direction on how to use, like onboarding, on how to use the app, and from there they're good to go. So this stage tells you more on that. So basically, that's about the double diamond. And the other one, which is experiment and optimize. Experimentation allows us to safely and confidently roll out new features and UI changes by running tests on a percentage of your user base. So this is like you creating a UI, and you're setting up a new interface in a new version of the product you're trying to roll out again. So this apps for you to experiment and see all of that. So all experiments have to start with data, which can be either qualitative or quantitative. For example, let's say you find that a user is twice as likely to convert when two or more filters are applied to a set of search results. So when you feel, oh, basically your users are trying to use it to get result, and how easy it is for your users to be able to pull out data from your app to be able to filter and get the result they want. So from that data point, we create a hypothesis which takes the form of, we believe that if we do X, Y will happen. Yes. So when you input your search um, um, action on the search bar, what will happen is, will it create a new animated page that shows user, oh, these are the results we have, and all of that. And we will know this to be true if we see an increase in z metrics. So basically this um, is more of UX research, where you get to know. So at the end of this, I'm going to explain, to tell us the difference between these departments of UI UX. So where we have UX researchers, those research basically on experimenting and optimizing and looking at things that needs to be done that makes user want to use that product continuously. We have UI designers as well. I'm going to explain all of that later on. So, for example, now, this this is based on our data point. We could say we believe that highlighting filters will make it easier to find relevant products. So, if we have an using an e-commerce site, and or if whenever you search, it brings the what is similar to what we're looking for, let that comes first, and others can come below, and we know how easier it's going to be for users to get what they want, instead of having to scroll and search all through on what they want. So the searches on filter is going to bring exactly what they want on their page. So I won't want to go deeper on this because this might be a bit boring at the long run. So let's go to the next one, which is the design sprint. So the design sprint is a 5-day process to quickly answering big challenges through design, prototyping, and testing ideas with customers. So um, basically, it's what it is. Monday, you map your want to achieve is so basically say Monday is for creating a shared knowledge base, understanding a problem, and choosing a target for the week. Spend the day learning from each other and pinpoint your focus for the week. So you can use your Monday for that. Then the next day, Tuesday, you can say Tuesday to get creative and start focusing on solutions to the problem. It's a time to pick up a pen and you can sketch some ideas. You should also begin recruiting participants for testing on Friday. So this period gives you that insight, so it's much easier for you to outline your design process on getting your job done. So basically, Wednesday, you spend Wednesday evaluating each solution and deciding which ones have the best chance of achieving your goal. Then it's time to start planning. A plan for creating your prototype. So on Thursday is the day for creating your prototype, which will be tested on Friday. So to make sure everyone and everything is ready, including confirming the schedule, reviewing the prototype, and writing an interview script, basically. So this time, so after that is done on Thursday, so it's time for us to test the idea which, or for you to test the idea which you've created all along. So by the end of the day, you will have either validated your idea or invalidated it. So you know with this work or with it not either way. So you've learned valuable lessons which will ultimately save time and money basically. So this design sprint is very helpful when it comes to UI UX, so the process of design basically. So you can just map this out and so the last part of the topic for this the UX so is to jobs to be done. So jobs to be done is like a framework for understanding what a user is ultimately trying to achieve, not just to the action they take basically. So what do your user want to achieve and how they want to achieve it? So we can say jobs to be done, we can abbreviate it to JTBD. So JTBD is based on the idea that user will hire or fire a product in order to achieve a job. Ask yourself, what job is my product hired to do? So basically, so one of the most important example of JTBD is that people do not want a quarter-inch drill. They want a quarter-inch hole. People will use your product in order to achieve their jobs. That's just it. You're creating a to-do app and you want this to-do app to get the job done by helping users to outline what they want to do in a day and be able to check out what they've done so far and if it's to do the other one the following day basically. So understanding why people use your product can help you create better user experiences, as well as helping you understand your product market fit as well. So you can write JTBD stories as when this user does this, I want users to see this, so I can get users to be able to do this. Is the structuring them in this way will help you understand the situation, the motivation, and the intended outcome from the users. So when you create this case, it gives you much more power of handling the responsibility which you have at hand. So that's it for the UX processes. So we'll be looking at the other part, which is research. So to research. So in research, this we have a couple of topics we'll be going through. I'll try for us to just brush through this so this doesn't get bored. So I just want us to understand the whole concept of UX. Then later on in the next tutorial, we'll talk about UI as well and the things you need to do on how to um, get a better user experience and design better UI. So in this research for UX, you look at the usability testing, the A/B testing, catch sorting, field studies, focus groups, surveys. So these are the things you need to understand, and when you're doing your UX research before you dive into creating your product. So for usability testing is a method which tests how yeah, how easy it is to use the product and testing it with users or participants which you've gathered to test the product as well. So usability testing is used to test whether or not your product is usable as you think it is. So when you have other people test the product and see how they use it, and their comment feedback will give you more insight on if you've done the job or it's a failed process basically to tell we don't need to create this such product. It's not going to be beneficial, so why waste time and money for that? So users being tested will typically attempt to complete a set of tasks with being observed by a UX researcher. Like I said, we have different rules when it comes to UI UX. So the UX researcher understands this process very well and is always keen to make sure all of this process is followed. So if you become a UX researcher, so these are the things you need to look out for. So the UX researcher in order to discover pain points in the current design. So you need to, it's a standard practice to test a design with 5 users, as this number has been found to be most efficient in order to find the most common and disruptive usability issues. It has been found that testing with 5 users will uncover roughly 80% of all issues, but testing with another 5 after they will only provide insights into about 10% of the issues. So this all concept is for UI researchers to make sure to know, to understand if this product is worth the time and money and what users will think of it when they use it. For basically 5 users testing is much more um, sensible, basically based on research that has been done. So that's what UI UX for the usability testing is used. So, and the other line notes which I have here is a state usability testing is used to test whether or not your product is usable as you think it is. So that's one of the points you need to keep at hand. So the second part is the A and B testing, also known as the split testing. A/B testing is a method for comparing a variant with a control in order to optimize a product. So let's based on this theory of this design here. Now you're creating this these two testing of what interface is much okay. So with this color is it best, and with this color what field does it give the user? So A and B testing is powerful method to discover ways to optimize your existing products by comparing a variant design with a control design, often the existing design. So if you already have a product and you're trying to optimize and create new features for it, or changing the UI to see how it's going to perform. We accurately measure which variant performs better. In order to perform a fair A and B test, the changes between the two variants should be minimal. Yeah. So just like what you see here, the first one with the blue button and the other one with the pink. So it's similar, minimal together is similar. So it's not like a different design of the other. It's the same, but little few changes. The color variant or maybe an icon additional to it. B- So this allows us to accurately pinpoint what caused a design to perform better than the other. For example, you could compare two designs, each with different colored buttons, as we shown here, which allow us to uh, accredit any performance changes directly to color alone. So that's it for the A/B testing. So we'll go to the CAD sorting. So CAD sorting is a method used to test the information architecture of a site in order to improve navigation and structure. So CAD sorting is a type of testing where users will organize cards together into a group which seem the most logical to them. And this allows us to gain insight into how the user expects information to be grouped in our product, which is useful when designing any form of navigation. So, um, I don't know. Basically, let's take examples. So when you go to the Jumia.ng site, you see something like navigation over here that gives you and we have categories on how to navigate to each category of products. And from the menu where we have this, you can see how these products are arranged either by grocery, computer, electronics, and shoes, clothing. So this helps on how users will be able to navigate through all of this. So you get your users of participant to do a card sorting. Card sorting is it's not almost all necessary, but it's also good when it comes to the UX research and all of that. So you have like a card where you write each okay, this product, we have clothing, we have menswear and all of that. So how are you going to get have this arranged for users to give them to users to arrange this to tell on what way the navigation is going to be much easier for them to understand the product. So basically there are two types of card sorting. We have the open and closed. So the open card sorting is when a participant is asked to organize the card together, the name then name the group which they have created, which is useful for gaining insights for naming your top level navigation options. Why the closed card sorting is when a participant is asked to sort cards into pre-existing groups, which is useful for confirming insights for an open card sort. So that's it for both of the in the card sorting we have the open card and the closed card. So if you have any question, you can drop a comment and I'm going to reply to that. So the next one is the field studies. So, field study is a method which tests a product with real users in the user context and location. Field studies are important as they add context to insight. By testing with real users in the environment, they will use the product. You can discover the context of why users are doing what they are doing. Field studies are ideal for when you need to understand what users do versus what they say. Sometimes users can act very differently in a lab environment, so performing testing in context can allow for more accurate and reliable insight. So that's one of the importance of field study. So the next one is the focus group. Focus groups are used to gather feedback from the users about a product and its features before they've been developed. So during focus group session, at least six participants take part in a discussion in order to gauge opinion of a product and its features. The discussion is often facilitated by a UX researcher in order to keep the topic and conversation relevant to the session. Focus groups are commonly used as a part of market research in order to discover whether or not a new product or feature is a good fit for the market and to help decide if this new product or feature is good enough to begin developing. Typically, you will need to perform more than one focus group in order to get accurate insights. Discussions can be skewed and sidetracked. So, this focus group is important when it comes to um, UX researching. So, as a UX researcher, you can put all of this in place so it's much easier for you to create a better product. So the last thing is a survey. So UX survey are quick, easy, and cost-effective way of gaining feedback from users. So questionnaires and surveys are a great method, and it also allows you to gather large amount of information from your users, which is great for discovering patterns and pain points of what the issue is. Surveys are especially useful as they allow you to easily gain both qualitative and quantitative data. However, surveys require large response rate to create trustworthy insight and feedback. Ensure your surveys are quick and painless to maximize the number of responses you get. So, like I explained previously, when you're sharing your data like a feedback or survey out, maybe using any of these platforms like the Google form or the Microsoft form. You send it to different users across and as many as much so and get more response. So you need to create this much easier. Not to worry, in my other tutorials which I will be going through because I'm going to take us more so you understand all of this. So I'll be showing you surveys you can create and then how to make this easier. So the part which will be also we're going to brush through this basically is the UX laws. So in the US laws, I'll also drop a link, basically some links on all of these UX laws, so you sit down and look at them to understand what concept and law has been created for to guide you to create a better product. So in the UX law, we have the power of X law and Fitts law and how to use it, Miller's law, the magic number, Jacob's law of internet UX, the von Rest-of effect, aesthetic usability effect, the Pareto principle. So, looking at the power of X law, so which states that the more options a user is presented with, the longer it takes them to make a decision. So that's why it's better to presenting fewer options to your users means they will take less time to make the decision on what they want while using it. And we have the the KISS principle, keep it simple, stupid. So this also mirrors the X law. So you need to make sure your processes are simple. You don't need to go long route before achieving a particular action. Just make sure it's simple. Cat sorting exercise can be used to identify categories in order to refine information architecture. So basically, the concept is X-Law is very powerful when considered with designing landing pages. A user has landed at your sites, basically, but what now? So I've gone to, let's say, google.com. What next am I going to do on that page? The longer it takes a user to make a decision on your site, the more likely it is that they will bounce away. So when you see how google.com is much easier when you go to google.com and what you see it's a white space around and the search bar in the middle. It gives you less thinking for, oh, what's this, what that, what's this, what that, what's this doing. It's already highlighted what you need to do. Oh, search here. So when you make a search, it just gives you the result. So it just makes it simple for you to understand what you're doing. But when you're going to sites that are so cumbersome that when you go there, you see icon here, action button, multiple things going on that page. It makes you just her like, am I doing this? What am I doing next? Is this what I'm supposed to do now or not? So also, if you want to produce a frictionless journey for user, reduce the number of options you display to the user. Limit options to what a user needs, and but don't be afraid of a little friction at times. Basically, if you want to increase the concept of when you click on a page, what page they're going to see next, and slowing the user down can also be beneficial. So to keep them to stay understand what your product is about to achieve, but making it simple is the concept. So the next law is the fits law and how it's used. So fits law states that the amount of time taken to move to and select a target is a function of the distance to and size of the target. So if you want to make an action more easily selectable, make it larger, position it nearer to the user. So Fitz Law has direct application into the user interface design. So I'm going when we're talking about the UI design part in the next tutorial, you'll be seeing the much of the effect of the Fitts law there. So, and basically, Fitts law also look at call to action, that is CTA, to make sure that this icon for call to action is large enough for the user to see. So it's also give consideration to where the user point of interaction will likely be. So where will their mouse be when they enter a page, or what is easily reachable if the user is on a mobile? And Fitla also can also be used to purposefully what is it called? Make something harder to select. So actions such as delete are often made harder to select by making them smaller in order to reduce the number of accidental clicks. So you have a user on an e-commerce site which they've already selected their what is it called, a product, and they're going to cart. Now, you notice most e-commerce site, you see the delete button to remove that item from cart is very small, not easily where you see the action where you just click and delete. So it gives more of, oh, we want you to continue using this platform. Why delete or why get rid of this easily? But that does not mean you're not giving them the action to remove an item, but to avoid the accidental clicks and the rest. So this way I'm going to stop for all of these laws. So I'm going to share the link for the remaining in the description so you can get familiar with this in your UX research journey. So in the next tutorial, we'll be talking about the user interface design. So, and like I said earlier, there are different job roles if you are venturing entering to the UI UX design role or ecosystem. So we have the UX researcher, we have the UI designer, and we still have the UI UX designer as well, and we have the product designer. So these are the roles when after you've gone through the learning phase of the UI UX design. I hope this is going to choose your career path for you on which is best fit for you basically. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope this is not bored by, but I'll make sure the next tutorial is a bit lively before we jump into the real practical part where we create and design products. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial. If you've not subscribed, please click on the subscribe button, like and share this. Thank you very much for your time and do have a great day. Think, believe, and develop the future today. Bye.